Nancy MacArthur is head of the Republican Party here in the great county of Geauga. She also serves with me on City Council in Chardon. Nice to see you, and I like your hats.
Thanks so much. Yeah, we are actually selling these hats in our tent and many other things Trump this year for the very first time, so it's a very different sort of venue for us, but we're having a lot of fun with it.
How's the fair going so far?
It's going great. The weather is beautiful. I don't know that the turnout has been great. I don't really track the numbers, but there's a lot of things going on in Northeast Ohio. So, but people love coming out here. And I tried to go get a milkshake a little while ago, and the line was way too long for me.
Yeah, so. I think they want to consider opening, expanding that booth or something.
Yeah.
Well, of course, there's other times it's only 3 or 4 in line, so that's the case.
But I'll get one later when it slows down a little bit.
So let's talk top end Republican status here in Geauga County.
Yeah, so we have an early primary next year in March. Actually, I'm going to say Patrick's Day. So, there's a short window there between the November election, which we do have an election this year, you know that, and then the primary. So this is the last fair that we're going to have before that primary. And sometimes we have contested races, and we have a couple this time, and we have a couple of people who aren't running for re-election. Sharon Gingrich is not running for recorder, and Denise Kaminsky is not running for clerk of court. So we have some new folks running for those seats, and so it's going to be a pretty short turnaround, but next year, we should know who our candidates are for the election in 20.
Yeah, I'll be a big one up there as well. Talking to the city of Chardon for a second here.
Sure.
Things are, going well. We have lots of opportunities there. The economic development side is always in play, and just good positive things about the city of Chardon.
Good things, and of course I continue to get a lot of questions about the square and what's happening there, and we still really don't know exactly what's happening, but I think we had a really good meeting, and I think the commissioners are very much aware of the fact that we want to keep the Chardon Square robust, and we want to keep a lot of the retail and everything there, so I'm really looking forward to working with them to make that happen, and we have a lot of new businesses coming in and some new restaurants, so I think it could be a really good opportunity for us to kind of take it to the next level. And people love coming to Chardon. They just love our square. In the summer there's always something going on, and it's just a great place to live and raise a family, so we want to bring more people into our city.
The topic of the commissioners and their plans for the square that potentially involves the closing of the courthouse and quite a few other things. That was, that peaked a few months ago, and we had open meetings about that.
Right.
Has it been raised by people visiting the tent? Is it still in play? Because news kind of wavers, and I don't want to make sure that people think that it's just over, because it's not.
It really isn't. I mean, I keep an open dialogue with the commissioners, and I think their focus right now is to do what they need to do down by Merritt Road and JFS and all of that. So I think the focus will come back to the square when they're ready. I know they're still working with the architect, so I keep an open line with them, and I do get questions about it. I got questions today about it from several people. So people are really concerned about the courthouse. They have a real strong connection to it in the square. So I don't think they've forgotten about it. They just kind of are asking, where are we? And quite frankly, I don't think we know yet. So, we're going to keep the lines of communication open with the commissioners.
Always do that.
Absolutely.
Well, I've enjoyed serving with you for 4 years on City Council, and have learned a lot from you over those years. So I just want to express that appreciation.
Absolutely.
And always thanks for your hospitality here during the fair to make sure that we have candidates to speak on their issues and their goals, and it always works out really well.
It does, and our candidates and some of the elected officials are all really busy. I know Congressman Joyce wanted to be here. He's just getting back from a family trip, and he'll be here tomorrow. And Supreme Court Justice Judy French is going to be here tomorrow too. So there are a lot of other fairs going on as well in Canfield and other places. So it's a busy weekend, but I do like to give the opportunity to our elected officials and candidates to come out and talk to you folks.
I was kind of looking forward to speaking to David Joyce. He's got a full gamut of issues, but the erosion in Lake Erie is very serious, and I know that he's really paying a close attention to that as well.
He really is. That's a huge focus for him and will continue to be. So, hopefully he'll be here next year. He usually comes to the livestock auction on Saturday, so I bet you'll see him next year here.
Very good.
Okay.
Once again, Nancy, thanks for your time on
You bet.
GTV, and look forward to seeing you soon down
so
the
much.
road. You're welcome. Nancy MacArthur, the head of the Republican GOP here in the great county of Geauga. And next up we have John Eklund,
Senator
right?
Eklund,
Senator
yes.
Eklund's coming
All right.
over, so send him
good.
over. Come on over, John. You're enjoying GTV's coverage of the great Geauga County Fair. We're at the Republican tent speaking with candidates. John Eklund, Senator John Eklund is with us. How are you, John?
I'm tip-top, thanks. How are you?
Good. Good Munson resident still, yes, I hope?
Yes, indeed. Still in Munson Township,
Yes.
and one of my daughters is now in Munson Township as well with 3 of our grandchildren, and so we're all one big happy family.
So do you have the pleasure of playing granddad on certain occasions if they have to go off and work or do other things?
I have done that. My wife does an awful lot of that, quite honestly, and she's pleased and happy to do it. I catch as catch can between here and Columbus. I'm not around quite as much as my wife, but they were just up here at the fair yesterday, and I took a couple hours to go around and take them on the rides and go through the animal barns with them, and always a very fulfilling thing and very gratifying.
I've asked this question of other candidates today, and I'm curious about your answer. Do you remember as a kid going to the fair, and what memories do you have?
I grew up in New York on Long Island, and I don't ever remember going to a fair.
No big fairs in Long Island.
No big fairs on Long Island. And but which was one of the things that attracted us out here back in 1979 was this was an atmosphere to grow up in with kids that we had never experienced before. And we knew some people who were from here, and it was immediately attractive to us. And boy, it was the smartest thing we ever did was to come out to Geauga County back then.
Well, we're glad you did. I visit the city every once in a while, and I love it.
Yeah.
And do you go back and hang out in Long Island or, downtown New York City? How do you handle that?
I don't do it quite so much as I used to. I used to go there a lot on business, and we had more family living back there, but our family kind of has dispersed now. I have one sister still lives in Bronxville, which is just north of New York City. So we do get back from time to time and have a good time.
I recommend it to everybody.
It's like no
get there
place
and
in the world.
experience it, because it feels like you're on a different planet at times.
It's exactly right.
What's going on in the Senate? What's in your near future?
I'm contemplating my future at this point. I'm term limited in the Senate in 2020, and I'm exploring different opportunities and possibilities slowly. But first and foremost, number one job is for the next 15, 16 months is to be the best state senator that the 18th district deserves, and I'm going to give all 100% of my energy to that. If something comes along and we decide there's other avenues to pursue, I'm not foreclosing anything at this point.
John, how long does it take once you gain access to that office to really get your footing? So know your way around the building, so to speak.
When it's your first go round, I'm going to say about 8 to 10 months, really. And it's largely because it's all completely new. If you've never done it before, and it's like any new job. You take somebody out of law school and make them a lawyer in a law firm someplace, it takes them a while to become productive. And I think that's the case with the legislature, most people.
Well, you got to have it in your blood, right? And after that 8 to 10 months, then you can really start to make an impact.
Well, I think you try to make an impact from the very outset, but you really need to demonstrate your abilities before people start to trust you, and you really need to be able to carry the ball once in a while in order to demonstrate what you can do. And then once you demonstrate what you can do, then people will trust you and have confidence in you all day long.
When I got elected to Chardon City Council, it took me a good 2 years before you knew direction.
Yes.
And I remember a couple of people when I got elected, they were former officials. They said, Chris, don't even talk for the first 2 months.
Yeah.
Now, I tried that, but I couldn't hold my tongue, because if a topic has presented itself that you clearly are passionate about, you shouldn't sit on your hands. You should reach out and speak.
Sure.
But always listen to people that know more than you do about it, and trust their judgment as well.
This is the real way to shorten that learning curve, all right, is for some period of time in a position like a legislator or the council, watch what other people are doing. Watch how they do it. Find the people you respect and who have a reputation for being purposeful, and watch how they do things. And then you'll pick up little things here and there, add them to your own repertoire, and that's the way to really advance the ball quickly. So you found the magic, I'm sure.
Well, you have to after a while, right?
Yes,
you
yes,
have
indeed.
to find that. You've inspired many people over the years, and I'm sure there's people watching this that are going to consider getting into politics because of what you've done and how you've reached out in our community.
Yeah.
You're very visible in our community. We see you all over the place, and that's part of the job.
Yes, it is, and it's among the most important parts of the job. And not just to be seen, but by being seen and making yourself available, you do the most important part of the job, which is to either establish or maintain or enhance people's confidence in our system of government. They may or may not have any confidence in Eklund or anybody else for that matter, but to have confidence on our system is the number one important thing that we do. And being out in the community and making yourself available is a big part of that. And if other people, harbor that interest and are interested in the prospects of pursuing that, I encourage it for everybody. I really do, because you have an opportunity to have an impact on your community, and you have an opportunity to give back in a certain way, and on so many different causes that most of us, when we're civilians, we have no idea the depths of people's interests and the number of people who just are out there working hard for our community. And you get a chance to help those people. I'll tell you what, it's a very humbling thing.
It's a very rewarding day when
Yes,
that
indeed.
happens, isn't it?
Yes, indeed.
John, thanks for spending time once
You're very
again
welcome.
on GTV, and good luck with everything at the
Thank you.
Senate and your future.
Thank you very much.
I'm sure we'll talk to you again.
Appreciate
You'll
it.
be doing other great things for our community.
Thanks for having me.
John Eklund doing a great job, State Senate. Coming up, Diane Grindell, State Representative. Hello, Diane. She's been very active here at the Great Geauga County Fair and doing all kinds of stuff. But it's really nice to see you. How are you?
I am so good. You know I love the fair. It just makes me feel alive. And the weather has been so fantastic.
Oh, it's been terrific. Not that long ago, Sarah Latret had your position. You got put in that position. You've been doing a great job there, and you want to pursue it in 2020.
I'm
Yes.
running for the next election, and I have great support from the State House. They want me to. What a problem is right now in the State House is they have so many new people because of term limits, and they don't have people with experience. So given my background, my nursing, my medical, they stood up and applauded me when I went to the healthcare committee because they have nobody that has any medical background on the committee. So I'm the first one. So they want help. They have good hearts, but they don't know what's been done before.
Not only medical, but clearly legal as the judicial judge, and
For 18 years.
18 years. So that has to be a huge benefit.
It is. They have me on the Justice Committee, and they also have me as chairwoman of the Criminal Justice Reform. So I'm going to be writing laws to try to clean up and to try to figure out what to do with all the laws that we have, as well as all the people in prison, and how we're going to write the laws. Because, they're passing bills, like criminal bills, almost every month, several, and you just can't keep doing it. It's like the house that you build onto and build onto and build onto. So he said I have the most important, the Speaker of the House, said I have the most important bill to write for this General Assembly.
The fair is agriculturally based, and you have a reason to help veterans that are not getting food on a regular basis.
Right.
And you brought this up earlier in the fair, but I want you to explain that, because for me it's hard to believe that our veterans may not be getting support to just gain food.
They don't. We have over 85 veterans that don't have any food, and they've been borrowing, and stealing, and trying to volunteer to get people to give money. We get money from the county. We get $1.5 million. And they have to give back $1 million because they can't spend it, because there's so many technicalities in the law right now that they can't spend it on the veterans. And I have the bill up to figure out what they can do so they will be able to get more money according to the commissioners, and the commissioners have supported it, and we will pass that bill and feed our veterans. How can we not feed our veterans? How is that possible?
No, it is hard to believe. I understand that you attended the pie auction today.
Yes.
And how did you do there?
We bought the Grand Champion pie, which was horribly expensive, and but I love it because it goes to 4-H and for all the kids that participate in the apples and making the pies. I mean, this is a very important part of our county. Plus, I bought the Grand Champion turkey.
You're going to have good eating at the house. Grandel House is going to be having some parties, I hope, soon.
Well, it's 50 pounds. The turkey is 50 pounds, so I need someone to help teach me how to cook a 50-pound turkey.
You know, I interviewed some young 4-H members who were showing their turkeys on Thursday, and
beautiful.
They're beautiful turkeys, and these kids were so experienced in these turkeys. But then we stopped recording, and I'm just kind of chatting with them, and he says, "Chris, do you know how good this turkey tastes versus a store-bought
Yes.
turkey?" Now, I was thinking they'd probably be good, but he goes, "Oh, no, hands down, these turkeys are so much better." So next year, I'm planning on getting my turkey purchased here at the fair.
They are hand-fed, and it's a cornmeal mash, and it's so many good things that they put into it with vitamins. When you taste one of these turkeys, it is like the gourmet of turkeys. It is so tender and juicy. You won't ever enjoy as much the other turkeys that you get.
Well, we're going to have to look into that. What do the next few months look like for you? Where appearances? What will you be doing as you pursue re-election?
First of all, I had the subcommittee. So I have, we're going to be meeting at Case Western Reserve, and we're going to have lots of testimony. We're going to have professors from over the world and what they do in other countries, so we can help clean up our system and try to make it so it's not just so permissive, but it works, it's effective. That's a large task, and I will work very hard for that. I will be going to every event.
Let's go back to on the penal system. Are you trying to because the overcrowding, I think, is still prevalent, and
right.
Can we start to look at some laws? And I know this is controversial, but marijuana laws, some people are in there for minor offenses,
for years,
right?
For years.
And so, where do you stand on that?
Well, I have to hear more testimony to see the repercussions, because we have only heard pretty much one side, and I want to hear the other side, because there's two problems. One, we don't want them in there if they're just taking marijuana, but if they're going to come out and have more crime to steal money for drugs, other drugs, because the marijuana now is 10 times stronger, that could be a problem. So I have to see how we can write it so they don't get any more chances if we let them out and they do something wrong.
There's a lot of pharmaceutical company lawsuits going on. Where do you stand? Where do you think that's heading?
They're really doing well as far as collecting money, but right now there's a real problem with where the money's going to go and who's going to handle that money. You're talking about multi-million dollars, and I want the children in the elementary schools and in the junior level schools to get that money to stop them from wanting to take drugs. I mean, we have to help our families. I just wrote a letter to all the schools for vaping, because vaping is so bad. When you take one cartridge of vaping, it's as much as a pack of cigarettes. And no one seems to know, not no one, but many people don't seem to know how bad that is for your health. It has chemicals in it, not just what cigarettes have, but other things in it too, with fake flavors and different things.
Well, I think that just made the news within the last week that a young man had a collapsed lung due to vaping, and he almost lost his life. And he was a healthy young man, and he had. So there's all kinds of considerations. We actually filmed a whole program on GTV about vaping. I'd say, Brian, about 8 months ago or 10 months ago, and it was well attended at Chardon High School, and they talked about the vaping incidents there, but it's everywhere, and it's really sad.
It's so destructive. They're finding more and more lung problems in the young people who are taking the vaping, and that's why I've written letters to many of my schools, and they're sending it out to the parents. I hope that helps. I hope they understand how serious this is.
I think they're getting the message. I interrupted you. You were talking about the future and where else you will be appearing.
I will be going to a lot of clam bakes. I will be going to some more parades, and people are having events, and I have a fundraiser that they're having for me. It's busy. I meet pretty much with almost 10 people a day, like the Heart Association and the Cancer Association and people with issues. And my book is full.
Well, your medical, your legal, and your professional career as a politician will serve us well in this capacity. Good luck in your pursuit of that to maintain your position there.
Thank you so much.
You're
I
welcome.
appreciate it.
Diane Grindell doing a great job, state representative. Enjoy the rest of the fair, Diane. Frank Hall, a familiar sight around Chardon area and other places. But Frank, you're running for state representative. That's a really cool ambition. Tell us about that.
Well, we have a Coach Hall Foundation. Some of the community members started. And last year we got House Bill 318 passed, which deals with SROs and school safety. We were able to get $12 million for schools across Ohio for school safety. And I really enjoyed that process and working with Sarah Lachorette and Representative Patterson. And so, I thought about it and wanted to get my hat, throw the hat in the ring and give us a shot and go down to Columbus and continue to protect Geauga County and Ohio.
I'm probably not the first person to ask you this, but hear me out. Let's draw comparisons between football and politics.
Well,
what do you think? There's a very similar issues there, right?
They're both very competitive. I can say that.
What I should say is people may not, some people may not recognize, but you are the offensive coordinator for the Chardon Hilltoppers. You're down on the field. Last night, you guys.
Good win.
You showed up. You showed up, right? You showed up against West G, and must have been a kind of a happy celebration. A few mistakes along the way, but you guys were hampered with some injuries leading up to that game, and it must have been worrisome for you.
We had to start our fifth-string quarterback last night, so that just says a lot about Coach Hewitt and what kind of program he has, and about our community at Chardon, and we're very proud of. So,
but comparisons between, I'm making light of the situation a little bit. You guys did well, but preparing for the game. I mean, you have to bring that mentality to politics as well.
Yeah, you need to have a game plan. your platform, what you believe in. Your right to life, and pro Second Amendment, and believe in those things, and take them out and spread the word that this is what you want to do and stuff. So yeah, absolutely.
Well, it's ambitious.
Yeah.
How long have you been thinking about this? What was, was there anybody in your life that said maybe this is your opportunity?
I've always protected people. I've always protected my family, the people I've worked with, and my community. So, it's just something natural, that I want to go down to Columbus and continue to protect Ohio and, protect businesses and farmers. And, government spends billions of dollars on rural area or urban areas in Cleveland and Cincinnati and Baltimore and New York. But to me, my passion is about Main Street in Chardon, Ohio, the square, and the little guys that live in the rural communities. So that's really why I want to go down there, champion those guys, and bring our tax dollars back and make sure that they're taken care of.
That's well said, Frank. Well said. I've always enjoyed your passion. You do a great job for the schools, different schools, and I think that you would make a fine state representative.
Well, I appreciate that. Speaking of schools, one of the things I want to go down and talk about with at the State House is schools. We're over-testing our kids. We're wasting millions of dollars on testing throughout the year. We're not educating kids like we should. We're just preparing for tests, and that's something we need to change in the state of Ohio. And I hope we get a chance to go down there and argue that point.
Who's the opponent next week?
Perry. It's
Perry.
63 points. Yeah,
63 points and like 7 touchdowns. Is that right?
That's right. Nine touchdowns.
9 touchdowns, but 7 in the air. Is that?
No, nine in the air. They
9 in the air.
Tied the state record, and but we're going to go over there, and we have a great culture that our kids just love and work at, and we're going to work hard this week. And Coach Rosati does a great job over there, and but you know what? We're going to go over to Lake County and give it our best shot. So. Well,
what you can't say anymore about Chardon is that we don't throw, because last night I think you had maybe about 125 yards in the air or something close to that.
Touchdown, and we threw the ball about 7 times. They're calling us the Air Hilltoppers now. So, but we have 2 great receivers. And we're taking advantage of them. 163, 164. So, we're enjoying good times.
Well, it sure does open up the game. Yeah. Frank, once again, thanks for spending time with us on GTV, and good luck with everything.
You guys do a great job, by the way. Keep it up.
All right, thanks, Frank. Frank Hall, running for state representative.
I love that camera. I mean,
Your Honor, how are you today,
I'm doing
sir?
great today. It's another wonderful day at the Great Geauga County Fair.
It really is something else. I've asked this of other people, and I'm going to ask it with you. Do you remember days gone by when you were a kid, getting to any local fairs?
Well, grew up in South Euclid and actually came to the Geauga County Fair and the Cuyahoga County Fair. And I remember once going to the Ohio State Fair when I was very young. Didn't go back there again until I was back in the state Senate. But my favorite's the Geauga County Fair. This is still your traditional agricultural-based fair.
That's what it should remain. Is that correct?
Oh,
yes.
Absolutely. That's what makes this so fun. I mean, we were at the 4-H auction today. You got the apple pie auction. You go through the barns. We bring all those 6th graders up for the Geauga Learn program, and they still get to see that agricultural history that makes Geauga County the county it is. It brings the values that make Geauga County a great place to live.
Well, you really encouraged that on Thursday of this fair with bringing out hundreds and hundreds of 6th graders from across the county. Maybe kids that hadn't been here before or had not heard from people that really truly know agriculture.
Well, that was the interesting part. We had 435 6th graders, mostly from the west end of the county, and when we asked them how many had been to the fair before, about a third had not. And that surprises me because it's such a great fair. So we actually, Diane and I donate money so that for tickets, so we give each 6th grader a ticket so they can bring their family back this weekend to the fair, and we hope that'll start a tradition. Last year we had about a 75% return, so we're glad to see people taking advantage, because you come here once, you'll come back. My children are here from Cincinnati. They come up every year to come to this fair. It's in your blood.
Being judge of the juvenile and probate court, that's a demanding position. You're very active, and you have hard decisions to make in that capacity.
Yes, I mean, it's a wonderful feeling when you can help a young person out who's, sort of lost the path, but we get them back on the path, or a family that's having, dysfunctional issues in the family, and we can get them the services they need so we can reunite the family in a safe setting. But we're lucky in Geauga County. We have our share of folks who need our attention. But by and large, because we still have a good parent base, I probably don't see the percentage of children some of our surrounding counties get to see. But it's a wonderful feeling when you can help them out, and it's a depressing feeling when you can't.
Yeah, I understand. The Good Deeds program, we see that visibly demonstrated all over the county, and it's an important way for people to really save money and avoid a lot of headaches if they get into that situation where probate's part of their life.
Yeah, Chris, yes. I mean, we started that program. It's the 7th year. We're still going around the county. I'm surprised by how many people show up every time we have one of our seminars. But the whole program is intended to teach our residents how they can save time and money by avoiding having to come to probate when a family member passes away, by doing things right now, by getting payable and death bank accounts, joint and survivorship deeds, transfer and death affidavits. And if they follow the path of our checklist, their family will never come to the court. Not that we don't want to serve them, but you're already lost a loved one, and then you have to go through the time and expense of a probate process, which is set out by law. I can't shortcut it. I got to follow the law. I got to do the fee structure the law puts in place, and this way we can help them try to avoid that. And I'm really pleased how many people come up to me, even here at the fair, and thank us for the Good Deeds program. And so we're going to keep going with that.
You're saving people thousands and thousands and many, many headaches. Why do you think people don't take advantage of it, Tim? Do you think they just they think it won't be important, or they just don't want to address it because it sort of involves a sadness because someone has passed?
Well, actually, I think the main reason the studies show the main reason why people don't plan for their death, have wills, estate planning, is they're afraid that it will increase their likelihood of dying. And as I say at the beginning of every Good Deeds program, I say the one thing I'm going to tell you all tonight is the one thing I know for sure: every one of us is going to meet our maker. And so if you can plan for it and prepare for it and help your family out, or you can let us do it for you later. It's going to cost more money and take more time. But there are people, and studies show, that won't do their wills and won't do their estate planning because they're afraid they're going to die if they do it. And there's no correlation.
No correlation, just maybe a thought, but I can understand that. The fair, you and Diane do a great job down here at the fair. I know she spoke about the purchase of a nice pie that you have, and you were at the chicken flying contest. That's always a great event.
Yep, we sponsored it again. Diane and I sponsored it again this year. That's one of my favorite events. That's part of the sort of, I call the Geauga County tradition right there. I mean, where else could you have a chicken flying contest? Where hundreds of people showed up to watch it this year, and there was 57 chickens, and everybody had a good time. And it's sort of one of those core things, frog jumping, chicken flying, cow milking. That's what makes a county county fair and agricultural fair, so we've enjoyed that. And I have to tell you, the Fair Board's done a wonderful job. The grounds are in the best shape that I've seen in years. Their support for Geauga Learn, their support for all the different functions going on. Our Fair Board deserves a big round of applause for really running a great fair this year.
Couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more. Every year there seems to be better and better improvements. And our sheriff's offices out here always having a great presence. Our firefighters, our EMTs are always here. Hopefully the heat has not been a huge factor. It has been in the past where you've seen ambulances running back and forth with people kind of succumbing to the heat, but it's been really good.
Yeah, yesterday we had Senior Day, and Diane and I donated 46 dozen donuts for the seniors. They love their donuts. And what's interesting is last year we had some heat stroke issues. It was very, very hot. This year was the perfect weather for it, and so that was a lot of fun. We had the veterans yesterday, and the veterans, some of us are getting older as veterans, and so it's nice to have this kind of weather. It's been the perfect weather for the weekend, and I agree with you, Chris. The sheriff's folks out here do a wonderful job. You see them everywhere. I can tell you this, we rarely see any juvenile crime from the fair, and that's a great thing, and I think it's because of the presence of the sheriff's folks, and then the fire department's all kick in. Look how many people put so much heart and soul into this fair, and I think that's why it's so successful. And look at all the smiles. I mean, one of the great things about the fair, look at how many happy people you see at the fair.
It's true. You and Diane contribute a lot to the success of the fair. You should know that, and we appreciate your efforts, not only here, but across the county in different capacities.
Well, and you folks do, too. I have to tell you, I'm a big fan of the GTV. A lot of folks at home won't learn about a lot of things that go on in this county, like the fair, the Maple Festival. If it wasn't for you folks getting that message to them and bringing it into their household, so I thank you for that.
We appreciate that. Judge Tim Grandel, Juvenile and Probate Court Judge. Thanks, Tim, for your time, and good luck at the rest of the fair. And I think that might be wrapping it up. No, we have Jim Flays coming up. Jim Flays and Sharon Gingrich. Jim, come on over. Geauga County Prosecutor Jim Flays is at the fair. Nice to see you, Jim. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
We're doing great. We're doing great. Looks like we're getting a little weather coming in, though.
Well, that's okay. We've had a great weekend so far, so I really can't complain.
How are everything at the prosecutor's office?
Pretty good. We're busy. We've got some big cases that we're doing, but I think that the crime levels, obviously dramatically increased over the past several years, and they've plateaued. So we're still fairly steady in that department, but obviously we've had some big cases that have been in the news that's taken a lot of our time.
Describe, if you don't mind, your office and the people that it employs and their positions within your office.
Well, we have actually, much to people's surprise, we have a huge civil staff. We represent all 16 townships. We're the lawyer for all 16 townships, and we're one of the largest law firms in Geauga County, essentially. We represent the treasurer, the commissioner, the auditor, the courts, all the county officials, all the school boards, all the libraries, the 2 library boards, the ESC. So we get involved in a number of things, and it's nice because we're a legal resource that the communities don't have to hire outside counsel, and they don't have to pay those high legal fees. They can utilize our office.
It's got a huge benefit.
It is. We also represent Job and Family Services, do child abuse, neglect, dependency cases, child support cases, and then obviously we have our criminal division.
Well, it's a demanding, and you have a great staff. People keeps everything moving, and I understand that you recently had a birthday.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yeah, I did.
Well, I got you a little something here for your birthday. It's a junior deputy badge from Chief Hildebrand.
Well, I will wear it proudly.
Have a birthday gift from us here at GTV, and
well, thank you.
We appreciate that. And, yeah, I know it's not a big thing, but it's it's the thought that counts, Jim.
Actually, it's funny. We the sheriff and I joke. We look at stories in the news about sheriffs and prosecutors fighting with each other, and we are so fortunate. I mean, I have such a great relationship with Scott, and I just don't know how other counties do it. I mean, if I couldn't work closely with the sheriff's office, I've had, just the last 2 hours here, I've had 3 different meetings with deputies about cases. They stop by, we chat about things. It's just such an open door. I don't know how other counties get anything done without that close working relationship.
Well, you're both highly qualified and good people. Let's start there, and then everything else will work out.
Well, thank you. Are you in trouble or something? I mean, you're being awfully nice.
Not a bit. Just happy birthday, and wear that proudly from the Sheriff Hildebrand. All right, Jim, thanks so much for your time on GTV.
Thanks so much. I appreciate it. Take care.
Jim Flay is doing a great job as Geauga County Prosecutor. Now our Geauga County Recorder Sharon Gingrich is making our way, and she's always fun to talk to. Sharon, how are you?
I am good. I'm good. Enjoying the fair.
Enjoying the fair.
Yeah.
And not running for re-election, is that my understanding?
I have 16 months left and I am done.
16 left
16
and
left.
in a few hours, right? You
Yeah,
probably
well,
haven't.
Actually, it's exact. Today is exactly 16 months because it's what, the 31st. So,
Okay.
yeah. So.
Well, you've done a great job in that
thank you.
capacity, and you've established many good programs.
Yes. And my deputy, who's been with the office for 20 years, is going to run and take over those programs. But I want to tell you a little bit about the latest one that we started last September. It's called Property Fraud Alert. There's a lot of mortgage fraud going on, deed fraud, and they'll go and they'll take your deed, they'll rewrite it to themselves, and they'll record it, and then they'll take out a home equity loan. Now, you're not responsible for the loan, but you're going to have to pay lawyers and go through a lot to get the deed back in your house. This is going on. I used to think it wasn't going on in Ohio, but it is. The recorder from Mahoning told me about several cases going on there. The Delaware County recorder just called me and told me about a person who came in, was unhappy with the judge. She took out a mechanics lien against him. So there's a lot of things going on.
So what do we do to avoid it then?
This program that I initiated last September is called Property Fraud Alert. And if you sign up, it'll only take you a few minutes. They'll ask you for either a phone or an email, and they will notify you if anybody's done anything to your property, to deed, filed a lien on your house, taken out a mortgage on your house, anything. So
That seems pretty
free.
easy, Sharon.
Well, and it's free. And there's, if you listen to the radio, there's an ad. It's like that LifeLock. It's a home title lock, and they will sell it to you for $9.99 a month. I'm giving it to you for free.
Wonderful. I'm going to give you my cell phone before you leave today.
I'm going to give you this brochure.
That would be
before
just
I
so
leave.
aggravating if
Put
someone.
this in your purse.
I will take it.
Or
Well,
your
I
purse,
absolutely
your
will.
pocket.
I'll take 2. I'll take 3. I'll pass them out.
It's a great. I hope people do sign up and take advantage of this because it really is a great safeguard for your property.
That's wonderful.
So.
That's wonderful. You've been in this office for many years, and I know you're counting the months, but you've done a great job. You must have some good memories as well.
I have some really good memories. I guess my favorite program that I started was the Veterans ID Card program. And the veterans will come in and I'll do the ID cards. And they come in and they sit there and they talk to me. I've learned more about World War II and Vietnam and all these wars and about military things, period, than I have in all the years I was in school from their life experiences. It's been great.
I even got mine last year.
Yeah.
I did, and it was easy.
Yeah.
Really easy.
Yeah.
I don't think it cost me anything either.
No, it's free.
Right,
and,
free.
It only take you a few minutes unless you sit down and we get to talking, then it's going to take you a lot longer. But.
No, your staff or whoever waited on me was perfect, and it was
Great.
in and out quickly, and it's a really substantial ID, and you get discounts places.
Yes. Well, and the other program that was fun, last year we did a big thing in October for the 2 farms in Geauga County that turned 200 years old. And that's the same family for 200 years.
For 200 years, can you imagine?
Yes.
And we have others that are within that 100
Yes, they're getting
plus,
close.
right,
They're
150
getting close.
range. So that's good.
I think in 8 years there'll be another one that's 200 years old.
Well, keep up the good work over the next
Thank
16
you.
months.
Thank you.
You've done a terrific job. You're always a pleasure to talk with on GTV, and I'm sure you're enjoying the rest of the fair.
I am.
All right.
I am.
Sharon
Thank you.
Gingrich, thanks so much for your service. We'll talk to you maybe next year.
Yeah.
You could be here back,
It'll be
right?
my last.
Right.
I'll be, 4 months away from retirement next year. So.
Okay, so we'll throw you a party then.
Oh, good.
All right. All right, Sharon. Dennis Galicki is running for Geauga County Commissioner. Nice to meet you, Dennis.
Nice to
I didn't
meet
have
you.
you on our schedule, so tell us about your campaign and why you want to run for this office.
Okay, first of all, if I'm a resident of South Russell Village down in South County, I am not running to enhance my business. I'm not running because I'm against any particular opponent, but I believe I have a particular set of skills that can serve the community and perhaps allow Geauga County to achieve even greater things.
So what are those skills?
Well, as you can tell from my ball cap, I'm a veteran. I'm a veteran of 32 years of wearing a Navy uniform, and I think veterans bring a unique set of skills to any job, and I think they're an untapped source in our communities. And among those are a commitment to service, great leadership qualities under adverse conditions, a familiarity with a great cross-section of American society, and a profound understanding of the consequences, the human consequences of bad decisions.
I like that. Where did you serve and what did you do in the Navy?
Well, I was a seagoing officer in the Navy for most of my career, served 18 of the 28 years that I served as commissioned officer on ships at sea. So deployed worldwide in many of the crises throughout those past 28 years, and came home to Geauga County in 2003. And after working in industry for a while, I decided, maybe it's time to take some of those skill sets that we bring and maybe serve the community a little bit better.
Do you have your own business now?
No, I'm kind of have one toe in retirement. For the past year, I serve on City Council or the Village Council for South Russell Village. But other than that, I'm looking to see other ways I can use my talents. And hopefully one of those will be as Geauga County Commissioner.
You guys still tossing around the idea of having GTV in your area down there in South Russell?
Personally speaking, I'm a leadership Geauga graduate. We've got a lot of wonderful things in the county, GTV among them. And I think you guys provide a great service to a great amount of the county. I'd love to see South Russell, as one of your customers, and to expand the horizons and the information that you provide to the community through the services that you provide.
Well, that's good. We'd like it too. We'd like it too. Dennis, it's been a pleasure meeting you. I like your enthusiasm. I like your military service. Couldn't agree more on that. It's chain of command.
My pleasure to serve.
You know how to do that, and I'm sure you have great stories from around the world, which we'll get caught up on another time. But that really opens your eyes to how other cultures operate, and that helps us here in the county.
Absolutely, and it helps you understand, the great things. There's a lot of people that denigrate the United States. There's some wonderful things about our country, and you come to realize what a gem Geauga County is also. And, the platform that I'm looking at is transparency in government, integrity, fiscal accountability. And so if you'd like to see those increased within the county, please vote for me.
Very good. Dennis Galecki, spending time with us on GTV.
Pleasure.
Thanks, Dennis.
That's what she said. I like that you're broken like me. Baby, that makes me a fool. I like that you love.
Carrie Lynch Quay is running for the position that Sharon Gingrich will be leaving in
Correct.
16 months, exactly.
Yes.
To the day, I think she said.
I think she may be right on that. It's to the day, so yes.
She seems to have all the confidence in the world of you and your capacity now with the recorder's office and moving up to what she's doing.
Actually, I'm not in the recorder's office currently. There is another gal that I'm running against that is in the recorder's office, but my breadth of a career path actually is a little bit different. I started in marketing, working for Cabela's corporate headquarters, and then I moved into the nonprofit sector and educational sector where I was big into fundraising and teaching and training others to be in the schools.
Go back to Cabela's. That's so cool.
I know, it is cool. And I say that because it was a really big part of my husband's and my life. We were out in Nebraska for about a year or so, but it was a really neat experience. And I was team leader in their internet marketing team. So that website you see now, back in the day, was I was part of the team that helped create getting things online, their online store.
That's impressive. Just love that store, going to it. I think the closest one is maybe in Michigan, I think.
No, we have one closer now, if I'm not mistaken. I believe they put one in, gosh, is it over near where the old Bass Pro was? Or am I wrong? Who knows?
Know.
They're popping up all over the place. It's a good company.
I know you're not running for Cabela's.
No,
but
I'm not. I know.
When you said I work for Cabela's, that's got my interest.
Well,
I think
you have
that's
to
great.
understand, my family, we're an outdoor family. We live on 8 acres here in beautiful Geauga County, and my kids have grown up with bows in their hand. And when people were talking about organic living, my kids got most of their meat right out of the backyard. So
very interesting. Yeah. So this you would do well in this office, then, the recorder's office.
I think so, absolutely. Most recently I've been working in the legal field side by side with, with my family at our law firm at Lynch & Lynch. And, I do quite a bit to protect our our clients, property rights and helping them to avoid probate and things of that nature as they, move forward and may pass on, making sure that everything is up to par. And I've dealt with recorders' offices all over the state of Ohio. I see some things I think are really great and could be put into play right here in Geauga County. I see some things that I hope that we'll never ever do at our recorder's office because it makes things much more difficult, for who are our bosses, the Geauga County voters and taxpayers. And that's really who we should be beholden to. And so I believe with that experience, managing people and having that plethora and that breadth and depth of career paths, I really think I can bring a perspective to the recorder's office, like maybe very positive. Sometimes when you're working for the government for your whole career, it becomes very easy to spend taxpayers' money because there's not a lot of accountability. It becomes very easy to not understand what life is like in the private sector or for what our taxpayers and voters' lives are like at home.
Well, your experience in protecting property is very valuable in this.
It is.
In looking for this this office, so that's great.
Thank you. No, I agree. That's one of the primary jobs the recorder does. However, the recorder's office does a lot more. People can record things like leases. They can record powers of attorney. And having that legal perspective, I know exactly what their goals are and what they're trying to do, and making sure that not only are they protecting themselves and their property, but, protect themselves financially and things of that nature, because these are public records. So someone may come to the office and say, I want to put this power of attorney recorded so that it's stamped. I know it's really official. My concern for them with my legal perspective would be that may not be the best idea, depending on what their goals are for that. We have to think about this is, permission you're giving to someone to do everything for you as far as banking or changing stocks or things of that nature. So we'd really want to make sure that was their goals and things of that nature.
Guide them on the right options.
Well, and and the recorder's offices are not attorneys. It's not a legal office and everything. So making sure that things are filed properly are important. That's really our goal, to make sure that their goals and wishes are what they want. And I think as a customer service end of things, are you a homeowner here in Geauga County?
Sure am.
Okay, well, so am I. I don't know if you're aware, but if you went to the recorder's office and you said, can I get a copy of my deed? They're going to charge you. Now, it's a minimal fee, a couple bucks for each page, but here's the deal. You're already paying for that whole recorder's office. Your tax dollars are already paying for every salary in there. I can give you a copy of your deed. You know where we get that money from? We can still charge the attorneys, still charge the title companies. Let them pay those fees. But again, things we can do better. Little tweaks that can make a really big difference, and I think are important because, again, the Geauga County taxpayers are our boss.
Yes, we are.
Yes, you are. And if
Yes,
they don't
we are.
like what I do when I'm in there, they can vote me out. And that's what's really important too. And when you think about whether or not they are going to like what I do, or, oh, I'm untested, I haven't been in the recorder's office. Well, I'll tell you this, I'm a smart girl. I have no concern about what I can do in there and how to manage that office. But if I don't live up to what you want, voters, then you have your opportunity to take me out of that position.
Good. Understand.
Yeah.
Thanks. Nice to meet you today.
Nice to meet you too.
It was
Thanks
really
so much for
very
having me.
interesting. We talked to just about anybody out here, and it's.
Oh, just
it is-
about anyone. I'm glad you chose me.
Well, I'm meaning anybody that's running for
I
something,
understand,
we're going
I
to talk.
understand. Well, I
So,
appreciate it. Thank
Carrie,
you so much.
Carrie Lynch
Quay for County Recorder. On
and
St. Patrick's Day.
St. Patrick's
So
Day,
remember
is
this
this-
little Irish girl on St. Patrick's Day.
There we go.
All right.
All right, Carrie. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much.
Good
Have
luck.
a great fair.
We're joined now by Ralph Spitaleri, Geauga County Commissioner. Ralph, nice to see you out here
nice to see
at
you.
the great Geauga County Fair. You enjoying your time out here?
Yeah, good to be here. I just got back. I was down at the live auction, and I got probably a year or two supply of chicken and turkeys. So it was phenomenal turnout down there. Everything went at a good, strong price, and all the different business owners from Geauga really supported it well, and it seems like it's the kids are doing great down there.
The kids are doing great, and I tell everyone, maybe you don't want to go down and buy something, just go have fun at it, because as it gets closer to the Grand Champions, the enthusiasm increases, and it really is an enjoyable event. So go down and support them. Then maybe next year you'd figure out how to buy something.
Yeah, so I got the reserve champion for a turkey this year, and so it went real well. Just to see these kids have been bidding on these, the different poultry and livestock for the last probably close to 12 years now, and it's amazing to see, kids that were just, little toddlers coming up there to now, they're part of the administrative part of the 4-H club. So, and just seeing the new kids come on board, it's just really encouraging to see that the ag stuff is still strong in this county, and it's real nice to see.
Well, you and the other commissioners do a great job here in the county, and the fair is like a keynote experience for many of you, and you must get a lot of questions while you're down here.
Oh yeah, no, we do, and a lot of it is, people are seeing the improvements at the fairgrounds that we've been, instrumental in getting the, CDBG, funds that we get every year that we've put, over the last 5 or 6 years that I've been seeing this project, mature and grow, that we've every year pretty much have added a new, new sidewalks and new handicap accessible bathrooms and just the grandstands last year. So there's just a lot of improvements that we're doing to the property that just makes it that much more of an enjoyable experience. And when you see how many people are here, we need those facilities, and we need something that's nice. And Geauga's proud, and everywhere you go I've gone to all different county fairs and spoke to so many people, and they always brag about Geauga, how it's put together, and it's a super proud thing, and the resident should be proud of what we've got here.
Yeah, couldn't agree more, Ralph. The issue with Chardon Square, yep, and rebuilding offices,
sure,
and we hear it
sure,
kind of crescendoed a few months ago, and now we're not hearing a bunch.
Sure,
is there anything you can share?
Yeah, absolutely. It's like anything else. As soon as something is made, put out there, people form an opinion. But the truth of the matter is this: is our focus right now is looking at the part of our 470 offices, to consolidate those offices with our building department, our clerk of courts for our title bureau, for passports, our building department, our community economic development department, our health department, the commissioner's office. Obviously we never forget our vets, and having a good veteran service commission office where, as our vets are starting to get older, to give them accessibility a little bit easier to be able to do that stuff. So at the end of the day, we're looking right now, the plan is to take those offices and consolidate those offices. As far as, the big hot button has been the courts, and the court building. I mean, people have spoke, and at the end of the day, I work for the will of the people. So if that's what they want to do, and they want to have the courthouse remain the courthouse, and they need to understand, that's what we'll do. It's just also understanding that there's a lot of money that's going to have to go into that, of doing some upgrades. Supreme Court has looked at that building, found a lot of flaws security-wise. And listen, I'm a law enforcement officer, almost 30 years. And I understand that part of it, and I understand that we're living in a different time and place. And security is a key issue, and people have to realize that, and our courts understand it. So our building of what was built in the early 1900s, late 1800s, we are in a different time and place. So there's going to have to be changes that are going to have to be made security-wise, just like with all of our other buildings. But at the end of the day, Chardon Square is going to remain Chardon Square as it is today. And our focus right now is to take our principal offices that we have up at our 470, and it's exciting. We've got a deal that we're working on with Job and Family Services building to get them a brand new building, attached probably with this office that we're going to do to save on the costs of the initial build out. But Department on Aging for our seniors, they've outgrown that location, and the services that we offer are not good of what we feel we should be giving back to our seniors in this county. So that building there will be turned over to, not turned over, we're selling it to Ravenwood, and that's going to be a deal that is going to give us the capital so that we're not hitting our tax dollars, no different than Jobs and Family Services. That money is being paid for by the University Hospital, which they're a great partnership that we've done to work hand in hand together to just improve. So the county is just going to continue to improve, but at the end of the day, the message I guess that I want to send is this: I will never fail to understand the importance of retaining Geauga County as a rustic, rural territory, an area that I live here because of that, and so many others do the same. And that's where we can't lose focus. If you want to live in the hustle and bustle of a city and the busyness, then go back to like Cuyahoga County or go to Lake County or one of these other counties. But if you want the joys of living in the country, and you want to have the joys of having, good quality service, this county can't be beat.
No, it cannot. Hey, we were down there doing some interviewing at the Geauga County Coyotes Club down there at the Natural Resources area, and you must be well aware of that.
Yep.
And a good group down there.
Oh yeah. So with the Coyotes, actually, their home base is at my business in Middlefield, and that whole organization with the youth archery program started out with about 7-8 kids. And that program now has reached to the point that it's into the hundreds that come through our
They
store.
have a waiting list.
Yeah,
Isn't that's incredible?
Yeah.
That's well spoken for them.
It is, and it's one more thing that trying to involve our kids in extracurricular activity other than being on a cell phone all day or computer games. Put them to the real deal. They come down there. They're actually using their motor skills, coordination. It's a good environment. And now we've got kids that come in there after school. They're not out and about getting in trouble. They come there, they come and shoot their archery equipment, their bow is in our range. It doesn't cost them a dime. They have fun. They're under pretty much like our supervision in the sense that they're not getting in trouble. They're off, out of the streets or just, staying at home alone. And it's just a good thing, and it just brings a smile on my face every time I see them there because they're in an environment that's safe, secure, and it's given them some disciplines that carry over into their life.
Ralph, keep up the good work you're doing for the county.
No, I appreciate it.
The kids especially.
Yep.
And as a Chardon City Councilman, I'm glad to hear that you're still interested in maintaining Chardon Square and its heritage.
Absolutely.
And maintain conversation with us on City Council because we're always looking for information.
And to add to that, I can't tell you how how it's been really a good transition for us to be able we have kept everything transparent. We have not had a single meeting that we have had with our architects, nobody without the city of Chardon being present. And what I can tell you is like for your mayor, Jeff Smock, I can tell you I've gained so much respect for him and the council members on that sit within your city. Totally 100% on board with us, willing to help. And I was totally impressed with the meeting that you guys held, the public meeting. It was run professionally. It was not slanderous to anybody. It was just what we need. We don't need opposing. We may disagree on things, but at the end of the day, we could work through things, and the communication is there. And I thank you guys for the professionalism that you extended to the commissioners and to the residents of Chardon, but ultimately to the residents of the entire county of Geauga, because this is for everybody. And I do appreciate that, and thank you. And I think that meeting was run incredible.
Good. Well, glad you liked it. I know we did, and so did many people. Yep. Okay, Ralph Spitaleri, great Geauga County Commissioner. Enjoy the rest of the time at the fair, and thanks for your time on GTV.
Yep. Thank you so much, and I enjoy your stay, and I appreciate you guys coming out here and doing interviews also, because sometimes the residents need to hear it, directly from our mouths.
Very good.
Yep. Thank
Ralph,
you.
Thanks again.
Yep. Have a good night.
You too.